Jeff.
Can we just cut to the chase? I mean, it was a boring episode. No one cares. Nothing happened. We'll see you next time.
What? Yeah, hit the outro music.
Right. Play the "we just got fired" button, because if that was what we said, like, just watch the subscriber numbers go to 0. You can watch the ticker go.
Right. Right. Jeff, it is that time. You're excited to get into this episode.
I'm excited to get into the next episode.
Yeah.
I cannot express the amount of willpower it took for me to not keep watching. Like, oh, man.
Here's the thing. The only reason why I didn't press record is because I know what's going to happen in the next episode already.
Oh, of course you do. You knew exactly what was going to happen in this one. So, like, why not that one too?
I know exactly how the next episode's going to go. I think.
I was literally writing the recap, right, for this. Yeah. And so many times I'm like, and just like Brent said, blah, 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 blah. And I took it out, didn't put it lead, but still.
Hey, I know you haven't watched the Brent Watches video yet, but it's pretty much me just sitting there going, yep, and then this is going to happen. Yep, and then this is going to happen. Yep, and oh, here comes the exposition where she's going to explain everything to us. Yep, there it is. Folks, I promise you, until I watch this for the very first time, I have never seen this episode before. And you guys can watch me watching it for the very first time. One video back in our feed here at Babylon 5 for the very first time. But right now, what you guys are getting ready to watch is Jeff and I over there, my buddy. We are going to do a deep dive into the episode War Without End, part 1, because we stopped. We didn't do the whole episode. Well, we didn't do the whole 2-parter.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to catch the behind the scenes footage of how Jeff and I put together the audio podcast. And you're going to get all the rabbit trails. You're going to get the behind the scenes footage. You're going to get all the outtakes. You're going to get all the fluffs. You're going to get all the good stuff, exactly how it happens. Yeah, we'll see where we go from here and decide if we like this episode or not. So you guys like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff that you know how YouTube does. Jeff, you do your thing. Can you do the thing?
We'll find out.
Do you understand what I need you to do? Do you understand?
Jeff and understand. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Jeff's level of understanding here shortly. Because I might have a new favorite character, by the way. Just putting it out there. Like, I get it now. Totally get it.
Get it now?
Should we do this?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
First time.
You knew your heart.
Someday, somewhere, I'll make a difference.
It's a mockery.
I mean, we're not some deep space franchise. This station is about something.
The year is 2023. The name of the podcast, Babylon 5, for the first time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the first time, not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Akin, and I am watching Babylon 5 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen. And I'm also watching Babylon 5. Well, this might be for the 47th time, because you don't know how many times I've been bouncing around through time watching this episode. Jeff and I are two veteran Star Trek podcasters watching Babylon 5 for the first time. Jeff, are we Babylon 5 podcasters yet?
We are Babylon 5 podcasters, but apparently we're not veteran Babylon 5 podcasters.
Cool.
Yet.
All right. So Jeff and I are two veteran Star Trek podcasters and Babylon 5 podcasters watching Babylon 5 for the very first time. And in this, we are taking our skills as veteran Star Trek podcasters and inserting it into our Babylon 5 podcasting deal to look for morals, messages, hope of the future, that sort of stuff about this series, and trying to decide how it's doing it a little bit different than the way Star Trek did it.
And while we are Star Trek podcasters, veteran Star Trek podcasters, this is the Babylon 5 podcast. So to keep us honest, we play the rule of 3.
No,
that
Jeff,
means
Jeff, sorry,
what?
Buddy. No, this is not the Babylon 5 podcast. This is
the Babylon 5 for the first time podcast.
Not a Star Trek podcast is what this podcast is.
Correct. It is not a Star Trek podcast. Not even a little bit. Well, maybe a little bit, because we can each make up to 3 references to Star Trek in each episode, but...
That's it. 3. 1, 2, 3. No substitutions, exchanges, a refund.
Hey, Brent.
Hey, Jeff.
We have a 5-star review.
Oh, yes.
This one is on Podchaser.
Podchaser? What's that?
Yeah, it's been a long
Podchaser?
time
Wow.
since we've gotten a Podchaser one. It's pretty cool. But CT2904 says, it took me several episodes to warm to the hosts of this podcast, but eventually their enthusiasm and insight won me over. As a B5 fan who's watched the show through at least 4 times, I'm loving the chance to vicariously watch it with fresh eyes. The predictions and theories on what's coming up next are alternately hilariously off kilter and breathtakingly accurate, and I particularly enjoy hearing them get to know the characters I've been in love with for years. Writing this when they're about halfway through season 2, so a third of the way through the whole show. Very much looking forward to the remaining 2/3. They didn't say very much looking forward, so it was really throwing me off. So I added editorial. So sorry.
Okay, first of all, CT2904, you have wrote this in a long time ago, because if you wrote this when we were in the middle of season 2, like, good night.
It's like 6 months
I don't know
ago.
what the backlog is, but holy cow. I know you only do like 2 of these an episode, you know, but
Well, also, I think and you've seen the numbers. We have a lot of new listeners joining all the time. And so I think maybe someone's just working their way through. I hope they're not doing, who's that one dude a while ago who literally like found us on a Friday and then wrote us a review on Monday and had caught all the way up?
no,
Like,
Jeff, who's the like dozen people who sent us messages saying that, which is crazy.
so true.
You guys that do that, you're awesome. And what is wrong with you? No,
We're cool guys, man. We are
Hey,
cool. We don't do wild and crazy guys.
hey, my
but
good
seriously,
dear friend Jeffrey over there.
it's a lot of hours.
It's a
with
lot of
Brent and
hours
Jeff.
with us. But CT2904, thank you so much for coming in, and glad you warmed up to us. You know, Jeff, much like the show has an arc that people have to go through to get to the end, I think the podcast here and you and I have an arc that we are on ourselves that is matching but separate. It is on the same trajectory, but it's its own distinct arc that we are taking along the path.
Parallel and distinct.
I like it. I like it. Thank you, CT294.
Well, hey, Brent.
Hey, Jeff.
We have another 5-star review.
Oh, yes.
This one from our old friends at Apple Podcasts. This one's from Guard Badger.
What's up, Guard
Badger. Such a cool name. Guard Badger.
Yeah.
Honey Badger, Guard Badger.
It sounds like this was a character on the old Disney ride Splash Mountain before it got shut down.
Yeah.
Guard Badger.
Guard Badger.
Yeah.
Fits. Well, Guard Badger says, fantastic show. Well worth a listen. Really enjoying listening to this podcast. The presenters are easy to listen to. Their insights are really interesting. So interesting to hear someone watch for the first time with their breadth of experience with other sci-fi. As an original watcher in the 90s, having watched through a number of times and having consumed loads of additional content on the show I love, I was surprised how many interesting threads they bring up. Well worth a listen if you're a B5 fan or a soon-to-be B5 fan.
I dig it. You know, Jeff, we hear this a lot. We hear they're bringing up all these threads. They're making us look at things we've never seen before or never thought before. That's not yours and mine's experience, because our experience is this experience where we think about that sort of stuff all the way through. And that's got to be cool to like go back to something that you know and you love and you feel like you're intimately acquainted with, but to get to see it through different eyes or just see something new about it that you didn't. I think it just makes you appreciate the piece of art more than you already did. And I hope that's what we're doing for folks out there, is helping them, particularly the old people who've been watching the show for a long time, helping them appreciate Babylon 5 in a new way.
Did you just call our community old? I feel like you did. Like those old people that are the same age as us.
I was going to say, we should have watched this show when it was back on the P10 days. Like, we were very much there and aware and old enough to do that. And not as young whippersnappers. Oh, no. We were in high school. So.
Yeah. Those were days. Yeah. Those were certainly days.
Yes. Jeff actually might have been out of high school for some of that.
For a lot of this, by the time this was going on, I was proudly serving my country.
There you go. Oh, so you couldn't have, because you were in a tube.
I was underwater. We didn't get cable. Like, we watched this will date it. We watched an alarming amount of VHS tapes that we would trade out when we'd get into port, because it's how it was done.
There you go. Well, Jeff, I can only imagine the things that you guys did while you were underwater, the games that you would have to play to pass time and make things happen. We like to play games here on Babylon 5 for the first time, along with the rule of 3, which is one of the games we like to play. Another game we like to play is trying to make each other laugh at very inopportune times that, hey, if you're just listening to the audio show, you really got to go check out the YouTube show, because that's where the real magic happens. And you guys get to see Jeff over there looking about as red as the background that we have, which, again, you're listening to the audio feed, so you have no idea how red that is. But also another game that we play is when we get to the end of the episode, we like to guess what next week's episode is going to be based on title alone, never having seen the thumbnail, never reading a description that really wouldn't be accurate anyway, even if we did. And now is the time, Jeff, where we revisit what we said last week, this week was going to be about, and see just how accurate or inaccurate we were. Jeff, do you remember what you said War Without End Part 1 was going to be, and how close were you?
So I remember what I said, and I said one thing that has a semblance of truth in this one, and that's that there were Minbari in it. I thought this was going to be about the Earth Minbari War, and that was going to be the war without end that kept going. Naroon was going to come in, try and arrest Delenn, and everything would be built to set up the warrior caste allying with the Shadows. I was completely and totally way off. Hey, Brent, why don't you go ahead and just tell us, I don't know, like how close you kind of got to this impossible shot in the dark.
Do I need to? A shot in the dark, Jeff. This episode was anything but a shot in the dark. This, if you're paying attention to this, look, people make fun of me for not paying attention to the show. If you're paying attention to what's going on, Jeff, I called this episode during like the season 2 wrap up. Maybe in the middle of an episode. Like I said, I made a prediction. I don't remember when it was. It was a long time ago, where I said that the shadow wars throughout history, the one with the first ones, the one 1,000 years ago with Jaquan, the one we're getting ready to have right now, that it's all the same war. And that Babylon 5 was bouncing through time, fighting all of these wars at the same time. And this is the episode that I was waiting for it to come true. And when I heard the words War Without End, it immediately triggered that to me. This is a war that has been going on throughout all time. And this is a war where it is all happening at the same time. That's what I said that this was going to be. I said that this was going to be Babylon 4. I said, I did say this. This is too early in the show for the Shadow War to come to a conclusion. So in a two-parter, we're not ending this war. So this to me is where we understand, like, we get all the exposition dump of everything that's happening, which we absolutely got in this episode. We're going to start like the mission. It's all here. Like Kosh is at the beginning, as he was Kosh 3 at the beginning of this one, going, and so it begins. And we're going to be bouncing around throughout time. In my head, Jeff, the way I thought it was going to start was it was going to start with somebody finding an ancient statue of Sheridan. You know what I mean? It turns out we started with an ancient letter that had somebody else's name on it. We'll get there real quick. In fact, Jeff, why don't you remind the folks at home and who are listening out there, or not at home, maybe they're in their car on their way to work, wherever they find themselves, exactly what this episode was about and just how close Brent was to making this prediction.
Well, for my recap, I just took your notes for your prediction. I'm just going to read. Basically, it's the.
I will say this: I didn't get everything right. I did not nail every single little aspect of this, but tell us just how close I got there, Jeff.
Well, Brent, Babylon 5 is going to blow up, and it sounds like Ivanova is going to be the last one left alive. She's sending out a futile distress signal and ensuring a complete record is kept as we learn that this has not yet happened. A series of readings and this distress signal are coming from Sector 14. Now, of course, everybody knows Sector 14, right? I mean, that's the one with all the tachyon stuff that was going on because of Babylon 4. Being that he's the one who knows the area best, Garibaldi heads out to investigate. Sheridan is doing his job, hanging out in the war room, talking to Marcus and others about the shadows, and that ever since the Vorlons got involved, they have been far too quiet. Too quiet. In fact, they're sure that when the shadows come back, they're going to come back in force. Their strategery gets interrupted, though, by Delenn, who received a weird letter from the past. And she's not the only one. Conveniently letting himself into the war room on his own, Ambassador Jeffrey Sinclair introduces himself to Captain Sheridan. He also received a letter from 900 years ago, addressed specifically to him in some pretty sweet-looking handwriting. Delenn explains that they have to get to the White Star right now. Why now? Because of the letters from then. But what do the letters from then have to do with now? Not a lot, except that that's going to make some stuff happen later. Exasperated, Sheridan asks, when will then be now? To which Sinclair responds, soon. Garibaldi has learned that a tachyon signal from Epsilon 3, powered by Drawl, is opening a time rift. From there, he sees that in 8 days' time, the shadows will attack Babylon 5, destroying it, fulfilling the vision of Lady Ladira in Signs and Portents, and Sinclair's vision in Babylon Squared. On the White Star, Delenn gathers everyone for a PowerPoint presentation. 1,000 years ago, the Shadows nearly won the war after they destroyed the Minbari sort of kind of version of Babylon 5, like the central command base. Without that, their forces were a mess, until a new central command base mysteriously just showed up. And that command base? Babylon 4. The whole time, we all thought Babylon 4 was off in the future somewhere. Nope, it was in the past, and it was helping win that shadow war. Well, Delenn's PowerPoint continues. A fusion bomb is launched at Babylon 4. A fusion bomb is launched at Babylon 4, this time like 6 years ago from now, like in the time the show is happening now, when Babylon 4 was first constructed 6 years ago before in the show now. The Shadows were wise to it, but a ship swoops in and destroys the bomb, and not just any ship, but the White Star. Now, we get to the last part of the Bill and Ted movie where they set all the stuff up to make the things in the past happen so they can survive to the future, which is now. You still following everything here? All right, good. Well, luckily, they're not going to have to go it alone. A ship from Epsilon 3 joins them and has the time travel supplies they're going to need, because time travel supplies are a thing they have on Epsilon 3. But wow, they are heavy, and it is really hard to move them around. If only we had someone who could move this stuff around for us. Oh, we do! It's Zathras. Yes, Zathras is back. But this is Zathras from before Babylon Squared, so he doesn't know anyone and is in awe of both Sinclair, who smoothly paves over the potential plot hole there, and Sheridan for reasons that are yet unknown. Zathras is happy to, or, well, resigned to help move stuff around. He shows that in our future, which is Zathros's past, but Babylon 5's present, the Rolling Stones are still ubiquitous, as he flips a classic and says, "Please let me be your beast of burden." They fly through the rift just in time into the past, hoping to make it back to the future, but as they do their thing and blow up the fusion bomb, Sheridan gets, well, honestly, I'm not really sure what actually happened to him, but his time anchor gets all busted up and he ends up in his own body, like, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 years into the future, the now where the show is happening future, not the then future that they're in. But in this one, Londo is the Emperor of Centauri, looks like he's about to execute Sheridan, who he blames for the carnage on Centauri Prime. While this is all happening, in the now time, Garibaldi finds out Sinclair came to the station. He cracks the passcode to open a message from him, and that message is a heartfelt token of friendship and a sad goodbye. Sinclair isn't entertaining any illusions about returning from this mission. In the 6 years ago time, the White Star capitalizes on the EMP pulse from the fusion bomb and boards Babylon 4 undetected. They're going to install some of the Epsilon 3 stuff so the station can hop around time like it's going to need to do. They get their gear in order. They split into teams. Sinclair and Delenn turn to head down a corridor. And Brent, what were your reactions to War Without End Part 1?
Jeff, I loved this episode. This is great TV. This is TV at its finest, happening right before our eyes. So it was so good. It was from start to finish, every scene, every second of it. Nothing in this episode was wasted. So many threads are coming together. You know, I don't know that they answered a ton of questions. They certainly left a few new questions, and I've got some new questions coming out of this one. But this is where everything really feels like it's paying off. Like everybody who's been telling us, and so it begins, before this moment, you went too early, folks. This feels like where it's really beginning. Now, I don't know what the end of this looks like. Maybe it really did start a long time ago. I don't know. But oh my gosh, this is great. I'm not even excited because I was so correct about this episode. But Jeff, it was good. It was good. It was so good to see Michael O'Hare again. I was legitimately excited. And I said this in the Brent Watches video, and I feel like I'm losing all of my Trek cred when I say this. I was excited. I was more excited to see Michael O'Hare than I ever was to see Denise Crosby come back into Star Trek Next Generation. Any episode. You know what? But you know what it did feel like is when I saw Leonard Nimoy pop up in Next Generation.
Yes.
Like, oh, there's Spock. It's like, oh, there's Sinclair. Please, Trek gods, forgive me for comparing Michael O'Hare to Leonard Nimoy. Please, Babylon 5 gods, forgive me for making that sound way worse than I mean for it to sound. But it was just so good to see him, you know, and I did not expect to see him. Of all the things that I did anticipate, I did not anticipate seeing Sinclair come out in this one. I didn't know if we were ever going to see him again. You know, coming off the one little video chat that we had from him.
Well, they set it up really well. Like they named him Ranger 1, right? At one point, yeah. Hey, Ranger 1 said this thing. And like in that moment, I think we both kind of resigned ourselves to like, oh, he's going to be a call sign that gets brought up from time to time.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but then he shows up and it's like, oh, yes.
Exactly.
It's like this.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely. So it was just so good to see him. And two quick things that I noted from his reappearance into this, and I'll let you talk, Jeff. When he steps onto the bridge and he's meeting Sheridan for the first time, or at least within the show, he's meeting him for the first time, and he looks around and he goes, I like what you've done. I really love what you've done," or whatever he says there. To me, that moment did not feel like it was a conversation between Sinclair and Sheridan, but that it was between Michael O'Hare and Bruce Boxleitner.
Ooh.
Of like saying, "Hey, you stepped in here and took care of this, and I'm really happy to see what you've done with this. You've stepped in and led this really well, and I'm just tickled to death to see that you've taken care of my ship, of my show." That you know, because we know Michael, when Michael left, it wasn't because he wanted to. He was just trying to save the show, and he had to go. He couldn't stay for personal reasons. So to see him like kind of like, "Hey, good job, man." Like this is what I was hoping for to see. It was a heartwarming moment to me. I don't know if that's actually what it meant or not, but I certainly did love that moment. But then there's the other moment where Sheridan just so happens to take this blast that gets directed at his little timekeeper thingy
thing,
and he gets shot off into a whole other thing. And I'm like, that moment right there is because you had to get Sheridan out of the way so that Sinclair could jump into the captain's seat for that one last hurrah, so he can go be the captain once again, you know, before. And I don't know if we're ever going to see Sinclair again after next week's episode. I assume we'll see him in next week's episode, but I don't know if we'll ever see him again. This might be the end of his story. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea where this is going, but it did kind of feel like that to me, like let's give him an excuse to be back in the captain's seat. What did you think, Jeff?
I'm just going to read my note on, these are all my opening thoughts. I loved it. I loved almost every absolutely little tiny thing about this episode. It was so good. And I think to your point on Michael O'Hare coming in, we talked about when he showed up in, I forget which episode it was that he showed up in on a little screen thing,
Mm-hmm.
but we were both like, oh, like it felt so good to see, you know, to see him in here. Wow, it was great to see him like acting and interacting with people. And there was a part of me that was like, I want to see him and Garibaldi hook up. I want to see him and Jakar go, you know, toe to toe. But I love how they like a little bit of him and Ivanova. But that moment, I've got notes on it too on here, that moment between him and Sheridan in the war room. Like a lot of times when there's a leadership change somewhere, leader one moves on and leader two comes in, and there's, you know, never the two shall meet or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But
whenever they do, and there's that face-to-face, there's that weird kind of awkward, because either one of them is doing better than the other one did, or one of them's not doing quite as, you know, there's always something like awkward about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was none of that
Mm-mm.
between them. It was just like, hey, I saw you back in the Mars thing way back. It's good to see you again. And hey, people say cool things about you. Hey, I hear cool things too. It was almost, some people in the comments have shared with us that Bruce Boxleitner was not embraced by the fandom immediately. And I feel like this in a way was like the official passing of the torch, where it's like, look,
Mm-hmm.
Sinclair said it's cool. O'Hare said it's cool. JMS through proxy said it's cool. Right. So like get on board for the whole thing. But no, this was awesome. This was a fun episode. It brought back so many great things. We loved Babylon Squared back in the first season.
Yeah.
We freaked out. I think we talked for like 48 minutes when Drawl mentioned Zathrus's name in the second, you know what I mean? Oh my God, he said Zathrus. What's that about? Let's go. And then when he showed up, and it was that in the scene he showed up in, just that like his face in there with the tachyon stuff going, it was just like, boom, Zathrus is here. And here we go. This is going to be wild.
I really wonder what it takes for that actor to get into Zathrus mode.
Yeah,
because he pulled it off. So I mean, he just slipped right back into that Zathrus deal. But oh my gosh, this was something. Jeff, I don't even know how to go through this episode.
I struggled with my notes. You know, I think one thing, I was thinking about this a while ago, how we, like, as our show has gone on, I mean, here we are in what, like our 63rd episode or something like that of this thing. And then doing the Brent watches and all the videos we do on our Patreon and stuff, just how much our format and stuff has evolved. Yet we still end up going close to 2 hours, a whole lot, because there's a lot to talk about in these things. But like my notes used to be, and you can see our notes if you go to our Patreon, we copy and paste those up on there. But they were, a couple bullet points here and there, or they were a stream of consciousness thing. And for like the last season and a half, I've had them like this storyline, this whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just have like this sequential run through because this was literally the telling of a story.
It was, yeah. Yeah, there was no A plot, B plot, anything like that. It was just...
If there was any A plot, B plot, there was the stuff that was going on, and there was Garibaldi. Like Garibaldi was treated a little bit, his story a little separately, but tied right in to it completely.
Well,
so
let's start with Garibaldi and get that knocked out then. So Garibaldi, basically something's happening out in Sector 14, which is where Babylon 4 used to be, and he went out there with Sinclair way back then, and so now he's there. So he goes out to go check it out, and he goes, "Oh, hey, look, here's this transmission. I'm going to watch Babylon 5 blow up a few times." And then he gets like freezed out of the mission.
Yeah.
Outside of the emotional impact, do you feel like there's another reason why Garibaldi is why he had to be left behind? Because it's very unusual to leave somebody behind like that on the show.
I think well Sinclair talked about it a little bit. I think there's more to it than what Sinclair said in the message, because he was like, basically Sinclair's like, I'm not coming back from this mission, and if you came with me, you wouldn't come back either, which then made me think, oh, but you can bring Ivanova and you can bring... No, I get it, because when he tells them to cut tail and run, they will. Mm-hmm. Garibaldi won't. Right. He's going to stick with Sheridan to the bitter end.
Right.
Or with Sinclair, and Sinclair knows that. But I think there's more to it. I think there's a plan for Garibaldi that there's more for him to pick up on that we'll see in the next episode. But I've got a not great theory about Garibaldi. So they went through great pains to talk about the great damage, the great harm that could happen if you get unstuck in time. What do they call it? Time distortion, right? The time distortion can really mess you up. I think Garibaldi's going to go after Sinclair and not have the time anchor or anyone knowing that he went after him. And we're going to have a series coming out of this of like Garibaldi being way in fact, I think this will be the payoff to the confessions, not confessions, but the ceremonies of light and dark, where he's like, I don't want to lose control of my emotions. I think time distortion is going to break him and make that happen. So we'll get a couple episodes working through that.
Interesting. I'll be interested to see if you're right. I didn't have that on my radar at all. So
what did you think of him trying to figure out the passcode? I enjoyed that a lot.
It really felt like that scene in Lord of the Rings when they're sitting outside the mines of Moria trying to figure out the riddle, like speak friend and enter. It's like, what is the password? Oh yeah, it's this right here. And of course, the password that was ultimately chosen, which was "hello, old friend," made absolute the most sense in the world. I loved that he didn't just come up with it like right away. Like he took some time to figure it out. But
he even did the fastener zip
right
from I think that was from Babylon Squared even.
Right. He had peekaboo. I heard peekaboo get thrown in there. Yeah.
That was cool.
But I loved that he still left Garibaldi a message. Yeah. Because I mean, if I remember right, Sinclair and Garibaldi had history prior to Babylon 5. Like Sinclair brought Garibaldi with him.
Specifically. And it was like his last chance. Like he was out after the Mars stuff with the Leona Kemmer and being Uncle Mike and all. He was going to be on his way out, but Sinclair gave him a shot.
Right. So Jeff, I guess we'll see what happens with Garibaldi in the next episode or next episodes, however that works, because you don't just leave somebody behind unless either like the actor broke his leg and couldn't go do the thing. Right. Or there's a narrative reason other than I just didn't want you to go to keep you from killing yourself, because otherwise he's on Babylon 5 and he's going to die. Like, station's going to blow up. This whole thing.
Somebody's got to be there when the station blows. Like it's going to be you.
Right. Hey, I want to talk about that message coming in from Ivanova from the alternate universe.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, this might have been the biggest problem I had with the whole episode. so much of this episode and the way they're setting this up is things are happening where we're bouncing through time, and turns out we were the ones doing it the whole time. So let's go do those things so that we make sure that we do those things in time. Which it's that Bill and Ted, it's that Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban cyclical, we are our own causality loop making things happen, which is a time travel theory that I personally ascribe to. If alternate universes exist, that's fine. I just don't think there's much travel in between them. But this hole that allowed the White Star to go 6 years into the past also opened a hole into alternate timelines to where we saw Ivanova on a station 8 days hence getting blowed up. Right? By the way, she also mentioned this is Earth Alliance Station Babylon 5. Yet when we saw her, she was wearing the independent Babylon 5 uniform. I don't know what's going on there. If that we've been clearly not Earth Alliance for many episodes now, for many months, really, in the timeline. Right. There was a lot. Oh, and I know you got more on it, but there was just a lot that didn't line up. This whole distress signal it didn't fit. It honestly, it felt like just a narrative way to pull them out to Sector 14. And it didn't have anything of substance. Well, it created the threat, right? Because there's the whole, we have to go back in time and do these things. And you're like, yeah, sure. I mean, whatever, I guess we do. But now it's like, no, we have to, because if we don't, in a Beatles song worth of time, it's all going to blow up and we're going to die. But if we go back and do this, then that doesn't happen. So okay, now Beatles reference though, Jeff. Thanks. Got the Beatles in this one, Rolling Stones, and we're only like halfway through this one. I like it. So they go do that. And that's kind of, I guess, the Garibaldi, and that's the whole, Garibaldi sits there and watches it like 5 times. I just saw Babylon 5 destroyed like 5 times in a row. I keep hoping. Was he hoping something was going to be different? Like, if I keep watching this, maybe it'll change. Right. Now, that's the one thing I don't think. I don't think these alternate universes are going to start to merge, or people are going to bleed through and come into one. At least I hope they're not. Here's a question. The vision that Sinclair has of Garibaldi and himself, by the way, on Babylon 5, that's from the alternate future, right? Or the alternate universe, not from this universe's. Yeah, because I think that is happening at the exact same time Ivanova is up in CNC doing her distress call. Yeah. And it's already changed if Sinclair is not there. Right? Exactly. So that's I'm just saying, but Sinclair is there, is the thing, because he came to Babylon. So like, it lines up that he's there. What doesn't line up is how much more hair Garibaldi had in that flashback scene. Well, you know what also doesn't line up is how much more hair Sinclair has now, because he is very coiffed, very voluminous now. Yeah, compared and it looked that way, but then when you saw the flashbacks with Sinclair, you're like, oh my gosh, he is. Yeah. This has been a few years, but man, that dude needs a haircut. Got a new barber or lost the old one. But on Ivanova's distress call. So before I think we talked to the YouTube crowd about this before we officially started the podcast, but when this episode came out, when it aired, I was on a submarine serving in the U.S. Navy. So I know a little bit. I know one little hitch worth of about like how the military and stuff like that works. And what I know is that we ran drill after drill after training after drill all the time, so that when the stuff actually went down, we would keep our cool and do the things we needed to do. Ivanova is the first officer of Babylon 5. She's a commander in Earth Force. She's seen action. She's done everything. This was entirely out of character for Susan Ivanova and for a commander in the military. I think this was a super bad look for Ivanova. I get it. She was panicked. She was freaked out, but also she's literally trained her entire adult life for this. And I mean, it was not a good scene. It was not a good look at all for her. Yeah. The only thing I can say about this particular deal, first of all, I think this was the worst part of the whole show. Yes, I agree. I agree. Like by a long shot. Yeah, by a long shot. It was a narrative thing, MacGuffin or whatever you want to call it, to make everything else go. You know, it was just like you had to give me something, so this is what they did, and make it feel like it was a threat. But it just, again, alternate universes, alternate timelines, the ability to go change it before it happens takes all the teeth out of anything like that. So you immediately watch that and you're like, yeah, but that's not what's going to happen. So whatever. Can we move on?
I just had one more observation on it, and then we can move on. And in this one, I don't know, maybe this is just me sitting on a high horse and wondering things, but I have to ask, if that was Garibaldi, if that was Sheridan, if they had a man in that role, would they have had them play that? So like, would they have, it really played to me like the direction in that one was freak out, go, everyone's dying, like really just trying to do that whole like, oh my gosh, I'm a woman and I can't control my emotions in a tough time. Like it really hit me like that. And I was like, I bet if Garibaldi was the dude in CNC, they wouldn't have him going. I mean, they'd have him yelling, they'd have him screaming, but he'd be trying to solve problems and trying to get stuff together. And I don't know, just an observation. Question will never be answered, but did not like the scene. Okay, now we can move on. I
want to go to Minbar.
Yeah, let's do that.
There's a lot just from that little scene right at the very beginning. First of all, did you ever play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild?
I actually never have.
You have not?
It's like the only Zelda game I have not played.
Okay. You need to fix that.
Yeah, because I own phenomenal. It. It's on my Switch. I just never sat and done.
What the heck is wrong with you?
We're recording this podcast.
Okay, fine.
That's like
fair enough. Okay. Regardless, you can even look up pictures of it. Okay. You've played other Zelda titles before. Okay. One of the races of people within the Zelda, the Hyrule world, is called the Zora. Do you know who the Zora are?
Yeah.
The water folk. They're the fish folk. Minbar looks like Zora's domain from Zelda Breath of the Wild. Swear up and down. It, like when you go play Breath of the Wild, especially when you get to where the dam is and all of that sort of stuff, it looks like what we just saw here in Minbar.
It reminded me of She-Ra and like the Crystal Castle or whatever. I forget what it was called, like where Light Hope is and stuff. Yeah, same like that. Same vibe. Yeah,
I see that. So we get Sinclair walking through, and they come in and they call him Intilza.
Or Intilza, depending on who's reading from the script. Sure. Intilza if you're Marcus, Intilza if you're Raton or whatever.
Yeah.
Guy's name was. Yeah.
So something immediately jumps out to me about this name, probably because I was watching it in subtitles and I kept seeing it in subtitles. All right. Intilza, the way it's spelled in subtitles, ENTIL apostrophe ZHA.
Kind of like Zahadum.
Exactly. Now, I don't speak Minbari, but I'm wondering, is there a connection between these two words, Intilza and Zahadum?
I had the same question.
Nobody answer that question. Please do not put if you put it down there, please go delete it right now.
If you see someone who put it, attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Go. Shut them down.
Say, no, don't do that. We will find out in the course of time. But I am wondering if they're going to do that. So he opens up the box. There's his name written in his, I think that's got to be his own hand.
I think so too.
It 100% looks like his own hand because it, like we saw the letter to Delenn later on, and it was written in the same handwriting. And we saw, I remember the letter to Garibaldi we've seen that handwriting before. Okay. Michael O'Hara's handwriting is effectively is what it looks like.
It's great handwriting. I loved it.
Sure.
It looks super cool.
Yeah, super clear. So there's the letter. I don't know what all it said except for baby, you're not coming back from this.
Can I drop my huge theory?
Yes.
On that, because later on in the episode, he's talking to Delenn in Minbari right after Sheridan goes away and she's upset. And he's like, look, it's cool. I know what happens. And trying to settle her down. And that was the moment I'm like, he wrote the letters, like for sure, because he knows what happens. So last week I said there's no way that Sinclair could be Valen. I was wrong because he's got the Minbari soul and he was a Minbar. Not a Minbari, not a Minbar. You know who else is that? Sinclair in Tilza is a Minbari, not of Minbar, who is writing not only instructions on a letter to go to him and Delenn, but also authoring the instructions for it in holy texts from 1,000 years ago. I am now more convinced than ever that Sinclair is Valen reborn.
Oh, you think he's Valen reborn?
The soul or him?
No.
Or maybe, no, he is.
Yeah.
Him going back
Jeff.
in time.
There it is.
He is Valen.
That's why he's not coming back. It's not that he's going out and dying. He's going back in time and he's just going to stay.
Yeah, he's going to be the religious
he's
icon.
The guy. Like, that's where he's
so that means Valen,
when the war is over. Like,
that means Valen and Jaquan, right? The two of the biggest like military or religious figures that are out there existed at the same time in the same war, and one of them was Sinclair.
Is Sheridan Jaquan?
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
He's huge. Non, not born of non.
Because Zathras was like, what did he say? He looked at Sheridan. He's like, Zathras excited to see you for other reasons.
Which is, look, I said this episode did not answer too many questions, but it opened up new ones. And that's one. That one leads right into why did Kosh have to sacrifice himself for Sheridan? What did Delenn mean when she said, he's got to be the one that gets saved? There's something about Sheridan for sure. Jeff, I'm with you. When you said Sheridan was Valen, I wasn't feeling that one. But when you say Sinclair is Valen, because Sinclair goes back in time and he becomes the guy who causes all of this and completes that loop, I'm digging. I'm picking up everything you're putting down on that one, son. I am with you till the end, ride or die on that theory. That Sinclair is Valen. That's awesome. Oh,
that's why he's growing his hair out. He wants to look like a religious figure, so he's got to get that big, great hair.
I mean, and especially since he's not Minbari, like he's just going to come in and kind of like rule over the Minbari cast. That means he's setting up the Great Council for what it is.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. Oh,
Valen started the Great Council.
Yeah.
He was the first, and oh man.
Hey, and you know what, Jeff, that makes sense of one of my notes here that I did not have. Okay. I got to talk about Kosh 3.
Yeah.
The Kosh on Minbar. Like that wasn't the new Kosh. That was a different Kosh, right?
It was so well spoken. Like when it spoke, it was clear, understandable.
Absolutely.
It didn't have that weird pause. Totally. This is what's the word I'm looking for? This is a Vorlon that's gone native on Minbar, who can speak the language and everything.
Exactly. So I call him Kosh 3.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're all Kosh, right?
Exactly. We're all Kosh.
But he says this line to the dude Remiton or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He says, Sinclair is returning to the beginning. And my note was, what does that mean? What is he returning to the beginning? Now, I'm thinking in the moment, I'm thinking like all the way back to the first ones.
Oh, okay.
Back there. That's what I was thinking in the moment. But if he's turning back to become Valen,
the beginning of Minbar society, really, like modern Minbar society.
If that's where he's returning to, so that he can start this whole process all over again. You know what I mean? And oh my gosh, Jeff, what does this mean for the prophecy that Delenn was like, oh yeah, has to be us and about us. And by Valen's name, I'm going to go become human, part human or whatever. Like,
well, because you think about it, right? Because when Sinclair goes back
up.
Yeah, he knows all these things. He knows that the souls were moving over from Minbari to humans. He knew that they could chrysalis themselves into some hybrid of some kind. He had all the answers, and he went back and planted the questions
and set it all up and made it happen. I mean, oh my gosh, it's there we go. I will note one thing. So we get into Delenn. She's in the dark. And she does that whole, I am the gray, standing between the candle and the light, and he is here. And then I look over the shoulder and I see like everything in her quarters, which first of all, she has lightsabers on her wall.
I know.
Okay. But she also has an in-room open bar, which looks phenomenal. And if you look at some of that glassware, Jeff, I am promising you, she must shop at the same bottle store as Quark.
You know what I think it is? I think it's the exact same set as Londo's room, and they just didn't clear off his bar, and they just turned off lights to try and cover it up.
You go. There you go. Jeff, I'm all for Sinclair being Valen, and that's the whole thing. Oh my gosh! Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
I'm gonna be so excited about that one. I called that so long ago, and literally I got so excited.
You didn't say it was Sinclair. You said it was Sheridan.
No, I've said forever it's Sinclair.
You said Sinclair that it was Sinclair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was the whole like he's got the Minbari soul and whatever, but I thought it was like the soul of Valen that had come into Sinclair, and it was just last week where I'm like, I give up. Like it's not. I'm gonna let that one go, and then this week I'm like, no, it's totally what's gonna happen.
Okay,
so excited.
So let's go back to our favorite character. 2 Zathrases.
Yes,
we have 2 Zathrases.
At least 2 of them,
right?
And they refer to themselves as Zathras, like Zathras, like I think they were both calling themselves Zathras.
Oh, were they? Oh, I missed that part.
I think.
Okay. But anyway, so Zathras is back. I loved and hated at the same time how they went back and explained away when Zathras saw Sinclair in Babylon Squared and went, you are the, oh no, you're not the one, not the one, not the one. Old Sinclair, and by that I mean new Sinclair in today.
Okay.
He meets Zathras and says, you're gonna see me, but it's not me as I am now. So you have to pretend not to know me.
Mm-hmm.
And it reinterprets that whole scene from Babylon Squared as him first going, oh, it's you. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to pretend like I don't know you. So now you're not the one, not the one, not the one. I love that they wrote that back into the story. What I hate about it is how they wrote it back into the story.
Really?
Because it was so much cooler to me when Zathras looks at Sinclair and goes, hey, it's you. Oh no, you're not the one. And what he meant by that was, you're not the one yet.
Yeah.
Like, I can see you. I know who you are. Nope, you're not him yet.
The thing hasn't changed.
Yeah, something hasn't changed in you yet. You're not him yet. That was way cooler than wait, you told me to pretend like I don't know you. Like, I hate that one, but I love that they went back and rewrote it, and gave you the reason for it too.
I agree. The other way of looking at it is so much better, but I thought that it was so consistent with Zathras, because there was a whole line of stuff of like, Droll's given me a list of things I can't say, and I'm not, and that's one of the things. It's one of the things I can't say, so let's forget I said it. And just like all these instructions that he's given, and so it lines up. This was another thing, and where he almost messes up, right? Like, nope. I may not know why, I might not understand what you told me, but I will do the thing that you told me. So you're not the one.
We have confirmed. We have absolutely unequivocally confirmed Sinclair is the one.
Yes.
He is the one.
Period.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, man, I feel like I should have a buzzer for these references in today's episode. I know why we love Zathras so much. Because Zathras is Hagrid. He
really is, isn't he? Like, nope. Shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that.
Right. I'm your beast of burden. I'll just kind of go do what I got to do. I don't really understand.
I got it. I'll go do the thing.
You got it.
Here, I'll give you a little bit of wisdom that you might not take very seriously.
Right.
And yeah, he totally is.
Just saying. We're speculating what's still left out there. Question unanswered now. Why is Zathras pleased to meet Sheridan?
Yeah.
Right.
For reasons unknown or something like that, he says.
Yeah. Loved it.
We did learn, though, where Zathras is from.
I missed this. Where?
So apparently he's from Detroit because Zathras can't have anything nice. The dude's so hard on himself. Like, really? I just felt so bad for him, right? Yeah. You know, Zathras can't have anything nice. Oh, Zathras have very sad life. Will probably have very sad death. Right. At least there's symmetry.
You just went into your Londo voice there, bud.
I did. That's what I said. I don't do voices. That's the thing. Right. You probably know that, having watched all these episodes with us. I can do Londo. That's what I got.
So there's a moment when I think it's Sinclair and Sheridan are sitting on the bridge of the White Star or whatever, and they start naming off all these great pairs throughout history. And when he goes, Lewis and Clark, and I forget who else he said, and then he goes Lucy and Ethel.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Okay, first of all, the words he said were Lewis and Clark.
Yes.
The great explorers of the Northwest Passage.
I know them well up here in the Northwest. Like we have Lewis and Clark College just down the road.
There you go. The subtitles on my viewing said Lois and Clark.
Yep.
Both work.
Yeah, totally. I saw the subtitle. I thought to myself, I'm like, was Lois and Clark a Warner Brothers thing? Like I started like, are they dropping like cross property things?
Well, yeah, WB is DC, right?
Yep.
There you go. I like it. But then Lucy and Ethel, and I thought that was an interesting idea. Oh, I guess I'm going to burn my third one right here. It's okay. One of the things about Lucille Ball, is she is the person who saved and got Star Trek off the ground.
Yep.
Right? Like just in history, they were not going to pick up the pilot, and she stopped and said, actually, have them redo the pilot because I kind of like this idea. And they bought the pilot after the second shot. Right. The idea that one of them represents Lucy and the other one represents Ethel, like one represents Star Trek, the other one represents something else altogether. You've got like, there's a little bit of like, hey, Star Trek Babylon 5, like we can come together. We can do a thing, right?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I just pictured them eating chocolates like as fast as they could.
I could see that Benjamin. Eat a Benjamin.
I liked them together though. Like I thought they worked really well together.
Yeah.
It's too bad we won't see more because something flashed Sheridan in the face and then his anchor somehow, but
well, let's talk about that, Jeff. Sheridan gets blasted apparently to the future.
Yeah.
Right? And we see
Londo's
old Emperor Londo pissed off. Jeff, is this the future in a closed timeline, or is this a possible alternate future?
I got to believe it's a possible, at this point, everything we've seen is a possible alternate future.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard because like, yeah. Okay. So Sheridan wins. That's what I heard, right? You know, hey, yeah. you got rid of the shadows, but you didn't, because it's not necessarily going to happen, you know?
Right.
So
again, you take all the, as soon as you introduce, this doesn't have to be the future, you take all the teeth out of it. And you don't commit to it.
I wanted desperately to not bring the effects into our conversation today, because there's a lot of story that went on, and some of the effects in this one we're good. We're good. Mm-hmm. This scene lost me, where Londo is furious. He's going to execute Sheridan.
Yeah.
Because they've come to ravage Centauri Prime. They show Centauri Prime, mm-hmm. and there's like 2 little fires. And I'm just like, you put some water on it, dude. Like, what are you so mad about?
Yeah.
Like, it was so underwhelming when they showed that piece. Yeah. But I heard a thing that Londo said that I don't think we've ever heard before. But the Shadow's dark servants came to Centauri Prime.
He said more than that, Jeff. He said their minions,
yes,
and dark servants were left after the Shadows were defeated Also, Delenn, Jeff, in her briefing, her movie briefing, talking about when Babylon 4 first came online and that nuclear fission bomb is heading towards it. Okay, this is when the shadows are still asleep. What did she say? She said, the shadows' allies. The allies of the shadows, not the shadows, the allies of the shadows brought this bomb. And then Londo turns around and talks about their minions and their dark servants. And this feels more than just Morden to me.
Yeah.
And this to me, Jeff, this is the biggest question I have coming out of this episode is who are these people that I don't think we've ever heard about?
So here's my thought. And it's so high level, it's ridiculous, but it has to cost so much money to do shadow scenes, right? They're 100% CGI, and then to do the battles with them or whatever, whether this is the first time we've heard it or we've heard it before, but they've created this concept of a dark servant so that they can put some people in alien makeup and make that be the bad guys that are on week to week. Because I mean, we know that Babylon 5 was put together on, tiny budget, and they can't do a whole shadow war for another season,
right?
The way it is. So I think this is a way to be like, no, we're gonna make some aliens, be the servants, and now we can have actual fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, because this is going to come up over the course of the next season. Because there's no way that this is ending by next episode.
No,
there's no way. But yeah, Jeff, to me, that is the clear number one question is who are these people and what do they have? Because that's what he says. He says the shadows you defeated the shadows, but you forgot about these folks over here.
Didn't clean up your mess.
Left them to rot. And I got pissed off at you. And I'm mad. And Londo is bad all the way to the end. There is no redemption for him. And I'm not saying that he is so guilty that he is irredeemable. I am saying, turns out he doesn't get redeemed. Exactly. That breaks my heart, Jeff.
But it's an alternate future, right?
It leaves some hope for my heart because it takes all the teeth out of the future when you do that.
Yeah, for a dude to sit there, and I mean, he and Sheridan are, I don't want to say they're buddies, but they've got a relationship, and for him to literally sit there while 4 Centauri, soldiers are just beating him to a pulp, and then tell him to his face, right? I'm going to do what I should have done a long time ago. Put you out of my misery.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Listen, there's going to be a lot more of that in the second episode, and I can't wait to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Something's got to happen there. And I'm super excited to see what happens with that. Jeff, the only thing I have left is just the actual plan.
Yeah.
The actual deal. So way back when the Minbari operational base got obliterated, and so we needed a new place, and they went and stole Babylon 4 to be the operational base. Now, I said Babylon 4 is blipping through time through all the different war pieces. I don't know that that's this story. That might be where I missed a little bit of this whole story, but it's blipping back to become the new operational center of the war from 1,000 years ago. Right. And Sheridan's the guy taking it back. Not Sheridan. I'm sorry. Sinclair is the guy taking it back, and they got to go steal it. We're on a heist. Suddenly it turned into a heist film.
Yeah. Like that's how it ended, was like, let's get our gear. Yeah. Here's the plan. Let's all split up and do our things so that we can go.
Are we happy with this being the answer to what was going on with Babylon 4?
I think so.
I'm good with
it's not. It's not at all what I expected at all. But it's also like, this is super, like, it's creative.
Yeah.
Unexpected. Yeah. And in a world of time travel, it makes sense.
Have you not watched sci-fi before?
Right? Yeah.
No, I expected it to be a little bit broader, but I'm okay with it being contained to this one deal. And if this story, A War Without End, is actually more about making sure that war happens 1,000 years ago, so we can continue on. And this isn't the start of some big intergalactic bringing everybody together. I'm cool with that, but I do love that this is we're bringing these pieces together, and you know, they got to go steal the ship and find out what happens. And listen, you know what we haven't seen yet, Jeff? We haven't seen Sinclair in the Marty McFly Back to the Future suit.
That's right.
Right. We don't know. We've left Sheridan in the future in jail with Londo about to be executed. Right. We've got Garibaldi back on the station, which in 8 days time is about to be obliterated. We've got questions about who are these allies of the shadows, who are the minions and the dark servants of the shadows. It's not Morden, right?
I don't think
it's
so.
Something different.
Morden's not going to go set fires, and you know what I mean. Like he's a person manipulator. He's not.
Is he
blowing
Morden's
stuff?
A zombie,
up.
Right?
I don't think so.
I
think that he's someone who like swore allegiance, just like Anna Sheridan did.
Oh,
swore allegiance.
Zombies. Those zombies, like those Psy people that we saw frozen zombies. Anyway, Jeff, that's the episode, man.
Because I know that people are going to comment on this.
Yeah.
The scar that Sinclair had.
Oh yeah.
So I want to check my thinking, because I think he had that. I think that was future Sinclair in Babylon Squared had that.
Yeah. And we were like, whoa, what do you get the scar from? Oh, that'd be cool to find out. It's a training scar from his days as a ranger.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. Yeah.
Didn't really answer.
And then I think the other thing I have is, so Sinclair, we were not the kindest, you know, to his leadership and management. I'll talk about that in our wrap up as well. But he was always kind of a dude, right? Like blue collar guy who kind of fell into some stuff is kind of how he presented. Did you buy the whole, like, now he's super Mr. Cryptic and all the Rangers have inside jokes about him kind of thing? Like, did that connect for you?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Because he, I don't know if it's just the Minbari soul taking over more, which I don't think is a thing. Sinclair was always a more inward thought processed type of a person. Like from The Gathering, he was not a wordy person. He was not a boisterous guy. He was not Sheridan, right? Like he was very reserved in what he said and what he did. He was very deliberate with the things that he did and the things he said. So to take him and drop him for however many years in Minbar, of all places, where he can go get some Zen, you know, monastery time and turn into this big ranger guy, like, I don't think that that's like just who he was from day one, but for him to have grown into that, I buy it. How about you?
I did kind of, but I think what you said really helped put it into words better for me. Because I think the other thing too that I was thinking about when you were talking, when he was like an introspective kind of a quiet guy, he was raised and studied under Jesuits. Like that was a big part of his character, right? You know, we talked a lot about in other episodes what that entails. And so I think it really is that whole, like, they got plopped in the middle. We saw the impact a couple of weeks or months on Minbar had on Veer. Yeah. And he was back and forth between there and Babylon 5. Yeah. Sinclair's been in deep for what, 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, I bought it, like I got it sort of, but like you saying that really helped, like, okay. Yeah, that totally. Because at first when Marcus was saying his thing, I'm like, no, it was not an inside joke with the Rangers. Like, but yeah, I could totally see it being that. That makes a lot more sense now. But I think, Brent, we have reached that part of the show.
We have, but Jeff, you have a few remaining. Can I borrow a reference?
You may.
Okay. So, completely out of everything else. Lanier talking about the ship, the White Star. Oh, she's got Vorlon organic technology, blah, blah, blah.
I bet you're about to steal the one I actually have written on my notes. So go.
So they're shooting the thing, and all of a sudden it's just like, bloop, I've got a personal shield. Suddenly the White Star is a Borg vessel.
Exactly. They've adapted.
They've adapted. The shadows need to rotate their modulator frequencies. Go ahead, Jeff. Get to that point, man.
Well, it makes sense, though. The Vorlon are everywhere.
Yeah.
They have assimilated every species in the universe, and now, at this point, they're coming in and seeding all the religions for the next set. So, yeah, totally makes sense. It's good thinking. But Brent, we've reached that part of the show where we boil this all down. We see if it has any of that sci-fi message, that Star Trekky quality to it, like a deep moral message. Maybe it's holding up a mirror to society or giving us some sort of hope that we could be better in the future. I'm going to do that by rating this episode on a scale of 0 to 5 deltas. And you, Brent, are going to rate this on a scale of 0 to 5 Starfuries as to how much we liked this episode and just how Babylon 5 it was. So I'm going to go first. And I felt like there were kind of two themes that really stood out to me on this one. The idea of trust, and then the idea of having the right person in the right place doing the right job. What Delenn shares about all the past stuff or whatever, she started off by asking Sheridan, do you trust me? Because if he didn't, like, this would just be like, all right, nice little padded room for you over here, sweetheart. Let's just move you into that. But by connecting, by building relationships, by talking, right? The thing we talk about on here a lot, it forms the trust necessary to share critical information. There's a lot of stuff that, like, if Delenn just was some rando that came on board, like, no one would have even listened to her, let alone moved forward to try. But because they have trust, they end up going back in time 6 years to, give it their best shot. The thing here, though, is that Sheridan, despite trusting her, still needed more info. He still needed to verify, like, what she was saying. He wasn't willing to leap without that. And he wasn't wrong to do that. What it showed me, like the message here, we could talk a lot about trust and how that's a very great sci-fi and Star Trek theme, but we don't often see the next step. And this showed us that next step. Trust gets you to the table, right? You still have to back up your stuff and be ready to deliver. And that's what Delenn was. She had her ducks in a row. She had her story. She had the pitch ready and utilized that trust to get there to deliver it. And I think that that's a great next kind of step on a Star Trek message we've talked about here on this show a couple of times. But I look at Sinclair, and we just talked about, he's different. And I think he's different for the better. In the first season, like I said, I was really, really hard on him as a manager and as a leader. But that's because he wasn't prepared for being in the position that he was in. And frankly, he wasn't really cut out for the job. I mean, tried, whatever. Albert Einstein.
I'm sorry. Just to be fair to that point, I know people are clacking on their keyboards right now. He was meant to not be cut out for the job. That's how the role was written. But you're right. He was not cut out for the job. That was on purpose. We understand. I just want you all to know we understand.
Yeah. And this isn't a diss on him at all. This is just a fact.
It's how he was written. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, Albert Einstein is attributed, he didn't say this, but he's attributed as saying that everyone is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Sinclair, as commander of Babylon 5, was a fish trying to climb a tree. Or maybe not climb a tree, maybe something a little less extreme as that, but just wasn't really set up for it. But doing something like that he's doing now as Ranger 1, as Antilza, like now he's connected to a higher purpose. He's got the relationships he needs. Now he's a fish that's swimming, right? I love the line. He's the arrow loosed from the bow. No hesitation, no doubts. We have to work individually to find where we belong, and we also have to help others do that. And I think this is the message in this one. When we are where we're supposed to be and we're doing what we're supposed to do, amazing things happen all the time. All the time. This isn't, well, sometimes if you can do the right thing. When you can line up your personal mission with your actions and what you do, there's literally nothing in the world, in the universe, that can stop you from doing it. We saw that in Star Trek with Kirk when he became admiral, right? In the motion picture, Star Trek II, he was an admiral, and he was the wrong guy for that job. He was mad. He was depressed. It was awful, right? He gets demoted to captain, and now he's out rocking it, doing stuff all over again. Right. He was being in the right role. These are moments in a super plot heavy, very much an episode that rides on the character development that we've enjoyed for 2.5 seasons, 2 3/4 seasons almost. And they're great moments, but like I had to dig. I had to pull out some of my Starfleet Leadership Academy skills to get these messages out of it. So before I give the Delta rating, I just want to make it crystal clear, right? That like Deltas aren't a rating of the episode and how good it was. There are great Star Trek episodes that don't get high Deltas. I'm imagining this is going to get a high Starfury rating, probably a high ranking. It's not getting a lot of Deltas. I'm giving it 1.5.
Yeah, this was an episode that was story. We're not trying to tell you any messages here.
Yeah.
Story. If you pull a message out of it, it's because you're looking for it.
Exactly. Because you have a podcast that is meant specifically to analyze a show for messages.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. I loved the line that Sinclair said, you referenced it, where he said, like an arrow loosed from the bow. I'm flying straight. I'm flying fast. Like the whole point of that to me, and that this would have been the one I would have drilled down on if I was doing Deltas. It would have been that. It would have been he's spent so much time not knowing where to go or what to be and hesitating. Sinclair had been hesitating, and now he knows exactly what he's supposed to do, and he can move forward in confidence. He can move forward in power. He can do what he has to do to go forward. And when you can put yourself in that sort of a position and just know what you're supposed to be doing, I like how you said it, to do what you're meant to be doing. You know, because not everybody's supposed to be in that leadership position over there. Like, be where you're supposed to be. No,
and that's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're not good, right? It just means that role isn't for you.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. Frankly, Geordi probably ought not ever really be a captain.
Exactly.
It's not just necessarily his best spot. And that's okay. Now, I know he does eventually become one, but whatever.
But Geordi's a great example, right? Because he started out he was at the con, right, in the first season. And he was probably fine, competent, whatever, is all right. But then he became chief engineer. And if you remove all of the like weird Leah Brahm stuff out of it there, he was an incredible engineer. He was great. Awesome. Captain, I'm with you. That guy shouldn't be leading a ship.
He's just not there, you know?
No. Maybe and that's not a bad thing.
Exactly. Another example, Miles O'Brien. Miles O'Brien was he was a non-commed officer. At what point should he go get commissioned and be an officer, be a guy? And no, he doesn't need to do that. That's not his deal. You know, just not where he needs to be. We can think of 1,000 other examples of it, but hey, we're also Star Trek guys. So, but as far as Starfuries, this is not a Star Trek podcast, Jeff. Did you know that?
What? Seriously? We should put that. Podcast. We should put that in the name if it's not a Star. Right. Oh wait,
I mean we're podcasting about Babylon 5 now, Jeff. So I'm going to talk about Starfuries. Starfuries is kind of a twofold idea. Does it take the Star Trek message and do it in a uniquely Babylon 5 way, in a way that Star Trek never would have done? Or just how much did we like this episode? As you mentioned, there's not really much on the message side for it to even do something in a Babylon 5 kind of a way. So really, this Starfury rating is mostly on how much did we enjoy this episode. Jeff, this was damn good TV. This was a damn good episode. 5 Starfuries the whole way. I'd give it 6. If I had an Angry Run Scepter from NFL Today, or whatever that is, Good Morning Football, I would give that to this episode. This was a great episode, up and down, Starfuries all the way, 5 of them. It's got it. And I love this episode. And please, can we wrap this up so I can go watch the next dang episode?
I know, seriously. Well, listen, I cannot wait for this next part because just like we did last season,
Jeff, it's
we're
the first
developing.
episode. Just forget it. This is our new number one. This is the new number one. We're getting there. This is the best episode of the whole damn season right now. This is the new number one. Better than Severed Dreams, although that was an awesome episode too.
It was a great episode.
This is a better episode.
Boom. There it is. Can't argue with it. Wouldn't argue anyway. That's it for War Without End Part 1 next week.
Jeff. Oh, do it.
Yep. What? And that is it for War Without End Part 1 next week.
Jeff, stop it.
What?
Stop it. Next week is War Without End Part 2. And what War Without End Part 2 is going to be is more of this. It's more of this. It's more of this. Let's go, Jeff.
Can I drop? I have an unpopular opinion. I think that next week, I just have to do this. I'm sorry, I have to do it. I think that next week, we're going to be almost in the same spot that we were when this started. Oh, they're not going to attack. Like, before War Without End Part 1, like 2 frames before the episode starts, that's where this is going to start, where it's just like, yep, everything's fine. Shadows haven't attacked in a while. Wonder what the big deal is with that. Literally, we just got a ton of context added in. This is going to be an action-heavy episode that just tells cool stories and wraps stuff up and gives us context moving forward.
Are you telling me
we're resetting?
It's a reset button?
I think it is.
It's a reset button?
It's a reset button that was necessary, just like at the end of Bill and Ted's, where they had to go back and put the keys behind the desk and put the trash can in the thing. It's necessary, but I think when we get back through this next one, we're just going to be like, oh, we're back on track.
I'm going to challenge you that that's not a reset button. A reset button is when you get to the end and you press it and then everything that just happened didn't happen. Like A Year Without Hell. Right?
Yeah, or Year Without Hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, or A Year Without Hell. Yeah, that's what like when you get to the end and just the whole thing doesn't happen. Right. But I'm feeling you that you're right. I think we're going to get back to it and this is where we're going to be and off onto whatever new, unknown future that's in front of us.
But we're going to find out right here next week. Thank you all so much for joining us for our incredible discussion of this incredible episode. If you haven't already, please subscribe or follow wherever you're listening or watching and leave us a review. We will read it right here on the podcast. Brent, until next time.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Listen, I'm going to need you to edit out me yelling at you quite a bit, just kind of from earlier in the show. If you could do that for me. You know what I mean? Where I was, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like just edit some. You understand?
Yes. Yeah. No. Jeff no understand. Jeff does not do understandings. No. Jeff does doings, but not understandings.
Well, listen, just do closing out the show, okay?
Peace, victory, and the long life.
This is my first time.
Pretty sure you went from Zathras to Londo to Russian.
I told you I don't do voices, didn't I?
Hey, listen, Club 65, you guys are awesome. Bit.ly /B5 or Club 65 B5, whatever that is. Yeah, go get your stuff. You guys are awesome. Jeff, I'm not delaying this. I'm going to go watch the next episode. Let's get it.
Hey, I'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
See ya.